Hello, you lovely people, you. Welcome, welcome, take a seat. So, AI, am I right? Yeah, you can't really avoid it now, can you? I mean, a few years ago, the only form of AI you had to interact with regularly was Siri or Alexa, stuff like that. But now, I can't even doom scroll in peace without seeing a realistic AI video body cam footage of Jeffy from SML being arrested or God knows what. In this new tech age where it's gotten to the point that AI generated commercials from Coca-Cola are real, Disney is teaming up with AI, entire AI generated movies are being made, and ChatGPT admitted to be cool with murder, I can't help but wonder what happened? How did things get this bad? I mean, we literally have our own slur just for AI.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is all real, son. Never forget your history, boy. Never.
We are tiptoeing closer to becoming a sci-fi type dystopia. So today, I thought it would be fun to look back on some of the old AI models. Back when it was bad and YouTubers made an entire video just to make fun of them. Like me. Now, I don't think I'll be covering every single AI thing before ChatGPT and all that. I'll only be covering some stuff that I personally remember, and hopefully just enough of the highlights that it'll make you sad thinking how advanced it's gotten in a short time. The first I want to talk about is a classic, a legend among chatbots, Cleverbot. Does anybody remember Cleverbot? This thing was wild back in the day. In case you don't know, or need a refresher, Cleverbot was a chatbot, a much older version of what Character.ai does. It actually came out in 2008? I didn't think it was that old. Holy! I remember seeing those dumb YouTube videos as a kid of people talking to it, back when the idea of having a conversation with an AI was so weird and unheard of. Now, I say conversation lightly because for an AI made in 2008, it went exactly how you'd expect. It would change topics mid-sentence, couldn't really hold a genuine conversation, generated replies were usually just one sentence or less, stuff like that. It also had a tendency to get freaky. But like I said, YouTube was all over it. Jacksepticeye, Koryax Kenshin, PewDiePie, everyone jumped on it the second it became relevant. I even know that years later, it became a Discord bot. They did not improve on the quality though. This was probably the earliest I can personally remember of an AI becoming slightly mainstream. I don't think it was the first ever chatbot, but it definitely walked so ChatGPT could run. What I definitely know is that it all went downhill from here. So, we're not really going in order from oldest to newest, but I think this is a good starting point for image generators. I'm of course talking about app.wombo.art. This one is way newer than Cleverbot. It was only like 3-4 years ago it came out. I know it seems very unprofessional to jump so far ahead, but first of all, this is literally my first ever video, so cut me some slack. But also, this is what I really mean when I put Lost Art in the title. This was an image generator, one of the earliest, and this thing was wild. It is such an acid trip to look through these unbelievably surreal things it would generate, sometimes downright graphic. The thing about this one that specifically set it apart from the others is that it could really only do surrealism. It couldn't even really make the shape of a human. The best thing it was at was like buildings, architecture, but even then the stuff it made was still really weird. I know I've heard some people recently say that they miss when AI could only make stuff like this because it felt more human and cool to look at than the near perfect crap that we get now. I don't know how many people actually agree with that, but it's something to think about. I remember when it first came out, I wanted to generate an image of Wolverine because he was like my favorite character at the time for some reason, and I was curious if it could do it. I vaguely remember the result, but it was something like a solid silver background, splash of yellow and blue with metallic claws coming through the gray background. And that was it. Like, I don't know if I was doing something wrong, but it couldn't even really make a physical form of a character. I know we've all heard it a million times, but it is just so genuinely scary how much better it's gotten in such a short time. Next up is Talk to Transformer. But if that name doesn't ring a bell, it was recently renamed to InfraKit. This came out like 6 years ago. I know. Unbelievably organized. Just roll with it. I'm sorry. This was an AI that generated words for you. Not like Cleverbot in the way where you could have like a conversation, but it was more like you would write a sentence, setting up a story or a joke, and it would continue however it wanted. And as you expect, it got weird. Not even in the horny way like Cleverbot got weird. It would just say things that made zero sense half the time. Sometimes it would even generate replies that ended up being kind of, that. I'm not going to show examples for obvious reasons, but you can imagine. This was kind of like ChatGPT, because ChatGPT's main thing is passing off a story or an essay like it's your own. InfraKit is pretty much just a Walmart version of that. There's not really too much to say about this one. I just wanted to show it because it's a good example of a ChatGPT type AI. And lastly, I wanted to end things off on the one that probably everyone watching remembers. DALL-E Mini. Oh boy, did this one really took off. I think it had the most people using it. I mean, the website used to literally crash because of the amount of traffic on it. In case you need a refresher, DALL-E Mini was an image generator that came out about maybe 3 years ago, and it took off. It was definitely an acid trip, but not like the Wombo one from before, because it could vaguely make the shapes of what you wanted to generate. Still not good, like, at all, but definitely a huge leap. Some of those details, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if someone based a monster from a horror project based on these designs. They are so unbelievably uncomfortable to look at. It was so weird and grainy and all over the place, but people really ran with it. It helped that it was so readily available. Entire Twitter accounts and subreddits were made almost instantly for just showing the stuff it would spit out. And once again, bunch of YouTubers made videos covering it. Alas, this is where our story ends though, since after DALL-E, it started getting actually good. And once it started looking actually good, it stopped being fun. I remember thinking to myself, as long as we only stick with AI-generated images, it won't be too bad. We definitely did not just stick with that. God, I wish we did. I know AI today is frowned upon for good reason. I mean, again, if the entire internet comes together to invent a new slur for something you know it's bad, but you can't deny there was something undeniably charming about when AI was so terrible at making pictures, stories, or just holding a basic conversation. Probably because back then it wasn't taking jobs or using tons of our resources to power itself, but still, I can safely say that I kinda miss the day when you can make a video about how bad the new AI thing is, versus now making videos about how it's trying to take over entertainment, or being okay with murder. I know I didn't cover all the bangers, but I think I did just enough to get you missing when something like Cleverbot was considered advanced. And feel free to talk about other old AI models I didn't mention in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this. You know what to do with you did, and I'll see you real soon. Goodbye.